All right, guys, we got to talk about some playoffs. And before we talk about some playoffs, please remember to hit that subscribe button if you're new to make sure you get daily content like this. But right now, we're going to talk about the playoffs, and we're just going to go in order of what we thought of the first game. The first game, of course, was the San Antonio Spurs versus the Golden State Warriors. Obviously, this ended up with Golden State winning 113-92. What do we think of the game?
Spurs just don't have the offense.
Yeah, they don't have the juice.
They don't have the juice. I don't know. They just looked so flat. Well, Marcus Aldridge didn't play very well. To be fair, he didn't score a lot of points. He needs to put up like 28 a game for them to even have a chance.
He needs to put at least 20.
At least 20. He didn't even get there. Rudy Gay was their top scorer, I think, with 15 points.
Yeah, 15.
That's pretty poor. Like, Rudy Gay cannot be carrying you. And on top of that, he didn't even start the game. He started the second half because they had to take Kyle Anderson out, Mr. Slow-Mo, right?
Yeah.
Well, Marcus just needs to score more. DeJounte Murray did a fine job defending. He's probably a first team all defense, maybe probably second team. But I'm worried about this team, right? I think they're too distracted with all the stuff with Kawhi.
Yeah.
And on top of that, they just don't have any offensive firepower.
Yeah, I think the two things that we got to really look at here is that Kawhi Leonard, that whole situation, that ordeal is really distracting the players and also the team from really focusing on anything. Obviously, we know that he's going to be out for the playoffs, it looks like. That's according to Sham from Yahoo. But at the same time, I think this also goes to the Golden State Warriors who, we kind of, I didn't say we writ them off, but we definitely thought that it was going to be 6 games. They were going to struggle a little bit, but they look fine. Like, there's obviously some situations where they kind of turned over the ball a little bit and they only got to 113 points. Usually they get to at least like 120 with Curry in the lineup. But I don't think we got to worry about them in the first 2 rounds. Like I thought, Earl Watson on Speak for Yourself talked about them going out in the first round, which no, that's not right.
It's just the worst.
that is not correct. But I do think that the Warriors, if depending on what Steph Curry you get, could be in trouble. But right now, nothing to worry about for the Warriors.
I'm still not going to count the Spurs out of winning a game or 2. Like I still think they get a win, maybe 2. But if they do, it's going to be a terrible game. Like it would be like the Warriors can't make anything. Like just wait for game 2. I'm telling you, there's a chance that one of these games, their offense is just sputtering like it was at the end of the regular season. It might happen, right? But they just have Kevin Durant is enough to beat the Spurs right now, like just by himself.
Without Kawhi,
he doesn't even need Draymond. It's not really fair. Let's move on to the second game. This game was pretty interesting.
Yep.
The Wizards and the Raptors, 106-114. The Raptors won. Let me just point out, Kyle Lowry did not play like playoff Kyle Lowry that we're used to. He played like good Kyle Lowry.
Yeah, he played pretty good. I would say that I think a surprising thing that they got from that game was Serge Ibaka. He played really well.
Yeah.
Got 23 points. And the other thing that I really noticed about this was the fact that John Wall, not so Mr. Clutch after all. He had 2 layups that he could have gone in and, made the game a lot closer.
Yeah.
But I think with all the chemistry issues with the Wizards team and the way that the Raptors aren't really scared of this team.
Yeah.
I just think that the Wizards are probably done in 5-6 games. It's starting to become, the Wizards are like this close, and you can see it when it works, but when it doesn't.
Yeah. I'm going to take more positive away for the Wizards than I thought I was going to from this game. They looked really good for 3 quarters. Like, they were equal to the Raptors, in my opinion, for those first 3 quarters. And then John Wall really just lost it, He just was just taking these layups and taking shots that he didn't need to take. And it felt like the John Wall show really took full effect and nobody was eating except for him. And he was just missing his mouth every time, so to say. You know what I'm saying? Did you not feel that way? They looked really good for the first 3 quarters.
I would say they looked good, but that's kind of like the whole thing that, I don't know. To me, it's like, yeah, you're in first place for 3 quarters of the race, but then you lose.
Yeah, I'm not.
It's one of those things.
I'm definitely not saying they're going to win.
I will say that Bradley Beal is obviously the player they're probably going to keep. I do think that this team is done. They're going to blow it up. They need to, I think, because the amount of money that they're spending on all these guys is a little ridiculous for getting an 8th place finish in a weak Eastern Conference when you guys were in 2nd last year. Yeah. So I will say that Bradley Beal looked good and I liked him. Mm-hmm. But other than that, I think John Wall,
It's the thing with John Wall. He just has his moments like where he's the best offensive player on the court, and then he has moments where he's like unimaginably bad.
Well, that just comes down to his shooting because he has no jump shot, and he still hasn't. Even though that's something I think GMs and everyone's been talking about with John Wall, because like once he has a jump shot, he'll be really good.
Yeah.
But it hasn't come yet, and he's already, what, 28, 29?
No, I think he's like 26.
He's 26?
I don't think he's that old. I mean, he came out of college when he was 19, right? Or even 18. But Kyle Lowry really impressed me in this game. Like his defense, especially obviously on that play that everyone was talking about, the big block on
27.
John Wall. It's 27. On the max, super max. But Kyle Lowry is my MVP for this one. I thought he looked great. And I was really impressed with Dwayne Casey's use of their bench, even in the playoffs. Mm-hmm. You know, the bench was doing their bench regular season things. I was proud of them. I felt good for the Raptors for the first time ever.
All right, let's move on to the next one. We got Miami and Philadelphia. Obviously, 130 to 103. JJ Redick, 28 points. Kelly Olynyk, 26. The Tan Warrior, known as Kelly Olynyk, had 26. That's crazy. But really, most importantly, the big story here was Philadelphia. At the beginning of the game, obviously, it was a little punch for punch.
Yeah.
But I think Ben Simmons and the way he controls the pace of the offense on the floor, too much for Miami, who don't really have anyone except Dwayne Wade, but he's an aging star. Mm-hmm. So it's very hard for him to kind of compete.
That 76ers lineup, when they play Ben Simmons, they play Covington, Redick, Bellinelli, and Ilyasova, is like, it's terrifying. How do you stop them offensively?
That's like the team that LeBron wishes he had.
I mean, literally, how do you stop them? Imagine just flip LeBron with Ben Simmons, right? And that's not a diss at Ben Simmons, but LeBron can shoot too. That team is unstoppable offensively. Yeah. But just replace Ilyasova with Embiid, and I just don't see how this team doesn't make the Eastern Conference Finals.
It's tough not to argue that they won't make to the Eastern Conference Finals because they look so strong.
Oh my gosh.
Their shooting is amazing, and they're getting great play from their players. Obviously, you know, we kind of poked fun at JJ Redick, saying that, you know, a team with JJ Redick, Covington, all that, shooting threes. Mm-hmm. But when you have Ben Simmons passing the ball, it's money every time that you shoot it. It's like he's figured out the game of passing way earlier than a guy like Magic did, I feel like, and a guy like LeBron, where this team looks very well-oiled machine-like. Yeah. And I'm going to be curious to see when next year, because I think they'll still lose, but next year when they face in the Eastern Conference Finals against Boston.
If they put up another 125 game on Miami tonight, I'm going to be nervous for the rest of the Eastern Conference. Like, I'll be really nervous. My MVP of this game, without a doubt, my guy. Not my guy for a long time. I'm a bandwagon Bellinelli fan.
Bandwagon Bellinelli.
I'm double B on Bellinelli.
No triple B's.
That play towards the end of the game when Ben Simmons kind of threw a wonky pass and it was going out of bounds. Bellinelli shoots a fadeaway three falling out of. That is insanity. That's insanity. How is Bellinelli that good? He's just that guy has so much confidence. I love it. But the confidence of this team in general is just like overflowing right now. I love it. Bandwagon Sixers fan. This guy. Final game of Saturday. The Pelicans and the Trailblazers, Bernie.
Yeah.
This was an interesting game. There was a lot of really good individual performances. Drew Holiday
had a great game.
Insane on defense and offense, to be fair. But I'm a little worried for my Blazers. I was speaking very highly of them a couple months ago and, towards the end of the regular season. This is a bad matchup for them. It's a bad matchup.
I'm not sure if it's necessarily a bad matchup. It's just the fact that both their guys, McCollum and Lillard, they just had bad games. I think this is just one of those bad games. And this is where the NBA differs from NCAA or any kind of a single elimination tournament, is the fact that you have 7 games to kind of prove yourself. And that's the reason why I don't think to worry yet about the Blazers. I think if it's another close game where Portland barely squeaks by or Portland barely loses, then I think it's over. Not over, but there's definitely a higher chance for the Pelicans to win because if Drew Holiday, that's the thing. I don't know if Drew Holiday can produce another game like that.
Defensively, that's what he's been doing all season.
Defensively, I think that's fine, but like the offense was something surprising that we haven't seen since his Philadelphia days.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we'll have to watch Drew Holiday because some people call him the most underrated point guard in the NBA.
When he's healthy, maybe.
When he's healthy, maybe. But Portland, I think they're going to bounce back. And like I've talked about numerous times, Nurkic is the X factor. And if he can at least make an impact in the game, they obviously will win easily. But like we talked about with him, he's so inconsistent that you don't know what you're going to get from him.
I just don't understand this New Orleans team. Like, I just don't understand it. I hate everything about it other than Anthony Davis. But I genuinely feel like they're built to beat this Portland Trailblazers team. Like, their guard play defensively is the perfect matchup against the Blazers. And Anthony Davis is just going to dominate Nurkic every single night. I don't understand how the Blazers are going to do it. Hey, I'm biggest Blazers fan in this room. I like them. But I just don't see how they do it. I'm that serious about this.
That serious
I'm
about
really
it?
I'm really worried about it for their sake.